There was a time in my life when I believed wisdom was something you could collect, like coins in a jar. The more I learned, the more I thought I knew. But one day my master handed me an empty bowl and said, "Carry this with you and do not let it spill." I was confused. The bowl was empty. There was nothing to spill. Yet as I walked, I became hyper-aware of every step. Every movement felt deliberate. Every distraction felt dangerous. And by the end of the day, I realized something profound. It was not the bowl I was protecting, it was my awareness. Truth is like that empty bowl. It looks simple, but it demands your full presence. We often think truth is loud, dramatic, and undeniable, but in reality, truth is quiet. It whispers while the world shouts. It waits while we rush, and it reveals itself only when we are still enough to notice it. Many people spend their lives avoiding truth because it feels uncomfortable. Truth strips away illusions. It shows us who we really are, not who we pretend to be, and that can feel heavy. But what is heavier, the truth or the weight of living a lie? I once met a man who came to the monastery seeking peace. He told me he had everything, success, wealth, recognition, yet he could not sleep at night. His mind was restless, his heart unsettled. So I asked him, "When was the last time you sat alone without distraction?" He laughed and said, "I avoid being alone." And there it was, his truth. He wasn't afraid of silence. He was afraid of what silence would reveal. You see, wisdom is not about knowing more, it is about seeing clearly. And clarity often comes when we stop running from ourselves, from our thoughts, from our fears. The mind is like water. When disturbed, it becomes cloudy. But when still, it reflects everything with perfect clarity. This is why we must learn to sit with ourselves, not to fix, not to judge, but simply to observe. Because in observation, truth begins to unfold naturally. There is another lesson I learned during my journey. Truth is not always convenient. It will not always make you feel good. In fact, sometimes it will challenge everything you believe, but that is its purpose. Truth is not here to comfort your ego, it is here to awaken your soul. When you begin to live truthfully, something interesting happens. You start letting go of expectations, of comparisons, of the need to prove yourself. You realize that much of your suffering came not from reality, but from resisting it. And in that realization, there is freedom. Freedom is not found in having more, it is found in needing less. When you accept truth, you no longer chase approval, you no longer fear judgment. You become rooted in something deeper, a quiet understanding that you are enough as you are and yet always growing. So I ask you now, when was the last time you sat with your own truth? Not the version you show the world, but the one you feel when everything is silent. Do not rush to answer, just sit with the question, let it settle within you. Because the journey to wisdom does not begin with answers, it begins with honest questions. And if you are willing to listen, truly listen, you will discover that everything you seek has always been within you. Carry your empty bowl with awareness, protect your truth with courage, and walk your path with presence. Because in the end, wisdom is not something you find, it is something you become.